Let's say that you are of the mind to date, obviously, right? Or you wouldn't be on this channel. And you are online to increase the odds of meeting somebody outside of your friend circle, maybe outside of your geographic area. And while you know there's a lot of nonsense online, you are surprised to discover that not everyone online is looking for romance. No, I don't mean your basic con artists and scammers. That's one thing. But what about those individuals who are increasingly dating for dollars, using the online portal or any romantic portal they can, whether it's Bumble or Grindr or Tinder or whatever, to meet you for the sole purpose of selling cryptocurrency, of getting followers on Instagram. This is a whole thing. I have a show on it today because I've had a number of people, one a friend and clients, that have been fooled because you go here and you understand that there are online scammers. We get this. We are very aware of catfishing and everything else. But let's take the first scenario. You're online and you see somebody and they're really good looking and they're accomplished and they like you and they click with you. So you're thinking, okay, this is a little too good to be true. Could they be a scammer? Oh, but wait, there's a link to their Instagram page. There's a link to their LinkedIn page. You're thinking, wow, okay, they really are somebody. Let's say it's a female and she's really hot. And guys, maybe you want a relationship. Ladies, maybe you want a relationship, but you look at this person, you think, wow, I'm going to wager it. Maybe they don't want a relationship. I see that they're on Tinder. I see that they're on Grindr, but you know what? I'm going to connect with them anyway. And you get the interaction, you get the praise bombing, you get all of this. But you realize, so of course you click on their Instagram page because you want to follow them, because you want to see what they're doing, because now they've engaged you. They put you into a spin. They've gotten you into their orbit. They are the sun and you're just going around and around and around. And they keep you fed with the new juicy visions of their life. And you have chats. But guess what they did? They used dating to gain followers. This is a real, real thing. Hey, everyone. I am Susan Winter. And this is Love Advice, and I am going to read you some statistics on how people date for dollars and date for followers. And I have a poll going. Now, in the beginning, I asked a question, have you met someone online who only wanted followers? Because it does seem it's kind of an Instagram-y Gen Z thing. Okay, guess what? We're almost up to 50%. 48% right now are saying yes. That is terrifying. Terrifying. You think you've met somebody. 48%. Oh, now it's 47%. Okay, somebody else voted the other way. Okay, but this is not good. If it were 5%, it wouldn't be good. So I just want you to know that there's an article that I saw that this online dater, she's actually a relationship coach here in New York City. I am going to add all of these articles and the links when I get off the show, and this goes into the repeat. Sarah Rose, that's a Sarah, Sarrah. She's a relationship expert in New York. Attractive woman, mature female, mid-mature, really beautiful looking. She connected with a guy with an online app, and he tried to dupe her out of $50,000 in cryptocurrency. He love bombed her. He did all that. So another article from British GQ, why do people on Tinder list their Instagram? And the girl says, now I use it just to get people to follow my Instagram account. Yeah, she uses Tinder in North America, European followers and foreign followers. Maybe Tinder for you is okay because a lot of places in Europe, it's cool. It's just another dating app. Here in America, I'm considering Canada as well. It's pretty much a hookup app. They created Hinge to say, oh, no, we're not just hookups. But it is, again, all apps are the way people choose to use them. You could have a neutral app. People want to hook up on it, and that's what they end up doing, and it becomes a hookup app. So this article is from British GQ. That's terrifying. Every day that she's on Tinder, this girl claims that she is only there to amass followers for her Instagram account. Now, They say, I'm hardly on Tinder, message me on Instagram and I respond faster. Okay, so when we see an Instagram profile, this is for the people gaining followers. I'll talk about the cons and the scams later on. When we see that they have an Instagram profile, the first thing we say is, oh, wow, great. They're not a bot. They're a real person. And we see them with their dog. We see them maybe with their relatives or grandma. And we're like, oh, this is a really nice person. And they like me. So Lauren, my media director, is lovely, and she is a millennial, and she loved Black Mirror, which is a series that came out on Netflix. And I caught one, only one, but the one I saw is probably the most potent for this conversation. It was about a future time where our only point of reference as far as value is our social currency, how many followers we have. And this girl is desperately trying to get a better job. You can't get a better job if you don't have enough followers. You can't get the right housing if you don't have enough followers. And how she somehow accidentally does a post that a girl she knew in high school responds to as a lot of followers, and how she escalates her life and then eventually blows it up again. But today, for many people, Instagram, the massive filtered PR, curated highlight reels of things that probably didn't even happen, has become the new language of social currency. And people are very much concerned about their numbers. So please, if you are dating online, and you meet somebody who chats you up and they're really good looking, really great career, all that stuff, and they give you an Instagram profile to show that they're true and real and they're not a bot, and they're a human being and they're not a scam artist, someplace God knows where, okay? That's good, but really understand, did they put you into rotation? Are you experiencing them throwing out a few statements to you and just, yeah, whatever, but you can't get a date, you can't get time with them for real, they won't get on the phone call. Chances are they just wanted an Instagram follower, okay? This probably happens on Grindr as well. I just think it's a thing nowadays. We have to realize we don't want to be somebody's, chum, okay? And so that's this. And let me look at some of this before I go into the crypto scams. Everyone, thank you for coming here. Dee Dee, I've got a poll up, so answer the poll if you can. Very happy to have Klaus with me today, all the way from the beautiful northern countries. Bamareg, good evening, everybody. Gnarly Cat, we do adore you. Gnarly Cat says, this is a great topic. So many guys on the apps are there to get Instagram followers. That I added, I don't want to follow you on Instagram to my profile. That is a good choice as a filter. We would assume that you at least want romance. Okay, here's the thing about dating apps. You may not want a relationship, but you at least want to get laid. That's why you're there, right? You're hoping something will happen. But it's really insulting that you don't even want that. It was just a business move. I've got a guy that I connected to, or connected with me. He was connected to my friends in the relationship world. This dude keeps hitting me up on the inside of the DMs. Like, I think it's his team, but it's so offensive. He's got all this money. It's one of those, I was fat, now I'm thin. I was poor, now I'm rich. I was ugly, now I'm gorgeous. You can too. And he chats me up like he wants to do some kind of joint venture with a speaking gig. No, nothing about that. Wants my money to put me in some ClickFunnels thing. Okay? I find that so offensive. Don't bother to hustle me. Spam normally gets those, but you've got people with legitimate profiles that are using these as their portal for cold calls. And that's just irritating. And that's just on a friend level. Okay, Cece, thank you. It is hot today. We have no water. It's one of those days where high rises turn off, at least ours does, turns off the water and cleans out the tanks. Okay, let's see. Trista, hello, great topic. John, hello. Again, ask me questions if you like. You can use Super Chat for that. Cameron, they say, okay, I read that before. That's a great conversation. So first of all, to Jillian, hi there. She says, and all brilliant Susanites. I met all sorts when I was online dating. Scammers were the most fun to play with. Just an FYI, this gal, this Sarah Rose, she caught on pretty quickly and kind of pulled the guy out so she could get this, some material on it. Very good. She got a feature story in Insider. So she wanted to play it out to see how far this guy would go. But this is frightening. I have a follower on Instagram, and with the hundreds upon hundreds of people I work with each year, I believe I might have even worked with this woman as a client, a one-time client at one point, because I do the click the button one and done. That's ending soon, but that's what I've been doing. And so she paid a very high 5 figures for meeting a celebrity that had a crush on her. I'm not going to say too much about her. I didn't want to. I'm always at a crossroads. Like the minute they say that, this is a woman over 50, and she's not a Beverly Hills over 50, if this means anything to you. Attractive, but this is not somebody that you just start blowing up their DMs and you're a celebrity, a famous celebrity that, by the way, never got on the phone, never got off that platform. And then the agent was arranging a meeting for them. I can't believe the money this woman lost. It is a hefty down payment on a home someplace outside of New York. I mean, it's crazy. So, we want to believe what we want to believe, and that's the gullibility. And here's the rub. And I have to be honest with you. I have a friend who had a real relationship with a guy that turned out to be very creepy, and she got out of it. And she said she blew through the red flags in the beginning. She heard them, but she didn't want to hear them. And she was so angry at herself. And I said, well, you had to. And I know this is controversial, so bear with me. I believe if we are going to enter a relationship at all, we are definitely going to trip over some pink flags and maybe a couple of red ones. We have to have a willingness to be open to the possibility. And remember, that's when we create the dream. You cannot create the dream if you are noticing red flags. So the tightrope we walk as a modern dater is one where we know what a scam is, we know what a con is, we know what a red flag is. But we also have to have hope and positive impressions of what we're seeing to just get into the relationship. It's part of the initial seduction. It's why we go blind when we meet somebody. We don't want to see it. You'd never get into the relationship if you were all here and critical. So think about the people that are exceedingly cynical. That's why I did a video on, how to date as a cynic. You are so cynical. You've seen so many games that the minute somebody comes into your life, if you're not seeing a game, you're going to make sure you see a game because you're trying to vigilantly protect yourself. Well, that's fabulous, but you're never going to get involved in a relationship. There are always going to be glitchy, weird things in the beginning. There are going to be real red flags, and there are going to be those that are simply misunderstandings. But we have to at least, if it's a red flag that affects our safety, serenity, or security, my 3 S's, we really stay hyper-vigilant. But if it's something where we like this person, they're agreeable, and 80 to 90% says keep going, a few things we're not sure about, we investigate, okay? But you can't get into a relationship if you're not willing to deal with some of these uncomfortable things that come up. They come up in new relationships. So that's the tightrope we walk. So how do you know the difference? There is the discernment, and there is there are platforms like this where we try to teach you the guideposts and what to look for. Okay, so thank you very much. Validation junkies. Yep, that's what they're doing. DD, hi everyone. Who else do we have here? Jillian, we do love here. No idea that was a thing. So sad. Casey, very glad that you don't know that that's a thing because that means you've never encountered it. If you did, now you know what it is. Did you have your wedding already? Everybody's talking to each other. I love this. Better to be too cautious than not cautious enough, especially when you've been in toxic relationships. Takes time to stop going to the familiar. Okay, that's breaking a pattern, and that's a massive correction. I understand that. We do want to disconnect from our negative patterns. That's what that's I don't think I put it out there yet. Did I put out the video about when the universe tests you with that delicious morsel just to see if you're really serious about it, and then they give you your reward? You got to pass the test. So if I say, I'm never dating somebody with 3 kids, I'm never, 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 like, oh, I don't want anybody with 3 kids. I'm going to meet the perfect guy and he's going to have 3 kids. Yeah, that's how it works. They're going to dangle it in front of me and say, are you really serious about that? That's hardly a deal breaker, but I'm just giving you an example, right? Let me continue here. Angela, in that case, yes. But again, understand that there is a brief moment of hope where we take a leap of faith. And that is why, rather than being hyper vigilant, I would suggest that everybody be smart, listen to their intuition, remember what patterns this brings up. If there are any patterns, that's, oh, I recognize this. This is too tantalizing. I'm going to walk away. That's a good thing. But also understand that there has to be that breath of a moment of hope to enter a relationship at all. We will always find reasons to scare ourselves. It is more important to be resilient than it is to be fearful, I think. Okay, so, well, we are going down now. We are at 60% people have never met somebody who wanted just to have a follower on Instagram or something else, and 40%. So this is good. IQ says Tinder was filled with scam artists, crypto pushers, and Instagram folks. So I bailed. Yep, okay. I have a male friend who met a woman who had the same political philosophy. They were in communication for maybe 6 or 8 months. They lived in adjacent, they lived within the same geographical area of the US. They chose a place to meet. He's very aware of, this guy is like Mr. Health. Vitamins, like a whole closet of vitamins, and reading all this stuff and natural healing. And we had just gotten together when he was in Scottsdale, and he ate something that gave him like an allergic reaction. So we went out and bought some Benadryl for him, and he had it in his carry bag, which he uses for traveling. He travels quite a bit. So he's with this girl. They're doing a lot of drinking, and she's really pushing the prices on the champagne and everything else. And he gets this, he's feeling really lightheaded and really dizzy and stuff like that. Then he has this really sweet taste in his mouth. His lips and his ears are ringing, and he doesn't know what's going on. And he passes her in, they went to go get suntan cream or something for the beach. And he passes her in an aisle. She doesn't know he's there. And she says, I don't know what's taking so long. It's not working. He's like, oh my goodness. So he walks outside, Googles the symptoms, ears ringing. She was trying to poison him. And I said, I understand, but he was with her 6 months, chatting with her, finally having this date. This is somebody I really know. This is somebody who is a dear friend. Now, I understand it's a bit of a risk to meet them in person. You have to. And especially if you're in separate states. I would have gotten separate bedrooms, but he's a guy, so he figured I'm paying for it. So he was lucky he had the Benadryl, because that was a cure. Now, he didn't turn her in. I saw her Instagram page. This is a con artist, okay? I mean, he didn't want to do anything about it. I can't prove it, because if I write Instagram and say this happened, they're going to say, how did this happen? But I mean, there's some really weird stuff out there. We always have to be smart and protect ourselves, all right? And we have to assume that we would like to assume they're there to date, but oftentimes they are there to get money or to get followers. That's not everybody. So you see why it's become so hard to date, because people have had such bad behavior that we've come to the point that it's hard for us to trust anyone. So when we get into a relationship, we're thinking, is this for real? I don't know. And many times we see one little leaf wiggling and we're like, I'm out. And so this is why it can be compacted. I'm going to read everything that you all say. That's awful. Oh my God, that's scary. Hi, everyone. Or hook up and manipulation. Yep, isn't that crazy? Curious, how did the lady know the celebrity had a crush on her? Did they exchange? Yes, somebody was DMing this woman, this 55-year-old woman, famous celebrity. She would not tell me the name. I'm kind of glad she didn't, but it was somebody who was falsifying an account. And Brad Pitt is not sending me DMs. And if somebody named Brad Pitt said he was sending me a DM on Instagram, I have a media director. You can probably figure out a whole bunch of stuff from LinkedIn. And if not, you can pay $20 to get every single bit of information on people on the internet. Like, really? I mean, sometimes we have to be realistic. Would this be plausible in real life? Me, out of everybody in the world. This is what I say to myself, and people get fooled. This is what happened with Tinder swindler. Yeah? These young girls saw a guy with an airplane, and if you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. It's brilliant. Okay? It talks about how this guy made his whole career taking money from one gal that he claimed he was in love with her and they're making a future, and then using it on hotels and airplanes for the next girl to hook her and just getting more and more and more money. The series of photographs, and then he's in trouble and they froze his cards and they're coming after him and he needs money, and baby, it's just for us. Once I get through this, we'll be together. All these things happen. But these girls, it was never a part of their lifestyle. It was truly the Cinderella story. Now, this makes for great movie material. And it does happen. There are some people who marry extremely well, way outside of their social league, way outside of their realm of possibility. It's rare. It's very rare. But for the most part, we have to take a look at this and go, is this plausible? Really? Is it? Sometimes it's too good to be true. Sometimes it is true. But these had such a distance that, you see, we are vulnerable to praise and we're vulnerable to attention. All of us. I am. I told you all about being praise bombed by this guy. Every time I see him, I light up and I wag my tail like Nika. I mean, I can't help it. I love the adoration. I do. So imagine if I were taking that into a dating field, how susceptible I would be. I'm telling you this because you have to understand we're just human. We're all human. Doesn't matter what we do. Doesn't matter if it's, a top whatever philosopher here. They can fall for it too. So let me see what you have to say. I know somebody had a super chat and I have to get back to that. I'm sure they did. Oh boy. I did see a super chat. Why do I not see? I'm going to end the poll because I think it was getting in the way of the super chat. I did. Oh, here we go. Jillian. Hi, my dear. We do love Jillian. I found my incredible fiance on Tinder and he's very much real. Okay. You are the exception to the rule and you're in America. So, okay. This is where you have to have a sense of hope. Okay. My best Tinder advice, have a system and don't treat it like the be-all, end-all. Okay, this is great. This is great. I never leave a drink unattended while on a date. IQ, brilliant. I was told that when I first came to New York. Let's see. Angela says, what I see are a lot of men seeking validation from everyone they can. Yep, sounds very dangerous. How many more victims will she claim? That's the question. And she said that her brother or her ex-husband was a policeman. And I said, or FBI. And I'm like, dude, that's not right. He said he was afraid to report it. I'm like, what? They should be afraid. A policeman and the woman's trying to kill you? An FBI guy and the woman's trying to kill you? I can't convince him to do it. And I think part of it is shame. He's kind of a famous guy. He's somebody in the world, okay? And in some places, visibly recognizable and nice as they come, okay? I think he's ashamed as a guy to admit that he was fooled. He didn't tell me the truth. I know when he went to visit her, didn't tell me the truth. Told me he was taking a vacation, me time. I knew it was weird. I said, congratulations, that's pretty unusual for you. But that's exactly what he was doing. And he was too ashamed to tell me. So I think there's a lot that goes on that we don't admit in public, but we have to beware. Dating for dollars. Jeez, my God, what have we come to? Not everybody, but thank you, Jillian, for letting us know that there are people on Tinder. And I think even in Europe, it's a thing that it's for relationships. Everyone, I love the fact that you're all together. Don't forget to hit the button that you're enjoying the show. Oh, I love these people. Thank you. Okay. Now, let's see. I want you all to know about this. Just an FYI. Last year, that's 2021, okay, victims lost 139 million in cryptocurrency romance scams, according to the FTC. 139 million in the crypto romance scams, okay? Online daters and lost a record 547 million to scams in 2021, and that's from CNBC. I'm going to list all these links when I get off because I'm always terrified to touch something when the show is live or about to go live for fear that I'll reset it, it'll have a different code, and I'll lose all of you, okay? Let's talk about this. How do we protect ourselves? How have you protected yourself? What do you think is the most important thing people can do? Can you explain to him that he can use his fame to project future victims? He's not going to do it. Who might not end up with Benadryl to save them? Can you believe that? He said to me, Susan, you saved me. And I said, what do you mean? Because we went to a Walmart. And by the way, I know nothing about Scottsdale. I've got a home there in the winter. I never travel or go out. I mean, I don't know that many places. He came into town and we went close to where his hotel was. And I happened to Google it and there's a Walmart. But he just happened to have it in his travel bag. He found it. Interesting, isn't it? How life works out. He's a very good guy. I'm telling all of you, okay? I would love to stop this woman, but I'm telling all of you instead. And I will rethink that, but I even kind of violated he didn't want me to tell anyone, so I'm only telling hundreds of thousands of followers. So I'm not saying any names, but this is scary. And again, remember, the test of a new relationship is you are going to have to walk on a tightrope at some time. Everyone knows. There's those moments when you see something, you're like, oh, what is this? Do I keep going? And he said, I knew her for 6 months. We talked about everything. Yeah, except the fact that she was trying to kill you. Or at least knock you out enough to take your credit cards or do whatever. But how stupid that she had her real Instagram account. Like, did they not think this through? Somebody will report her, of course. Okay. My hairdresser talked to a guy, Carrie says, on a dating app for 2 weeks before he hit her up for money. He flirted and did all the typical things, so she was feeling pretty disillusioned after that. Yep. My current, and thank you for sharing this, Carrie. And IQ says, my current issue with online dating is that I can't get anyone to meet in person. So that's the number one thing. I remember, like, I'll do online dating for maybe 2.5 days and just like, I don't want to do this, right? And this was a number of years ago. When was this? Oh, golly, I can't even remember when I was doing, maybe 2012 or 2014. This guy was not my type, but he seemed very astute and very on point. And I thought, it's kind of not my style, but I'll meet him anyway. The first thing he said to me online is, listen, I believe it's very important to meet in person, that you don't want to start a chat, really like somebody, and then realize there's no connection or you're not attracted to them. I said, okay, good. I was not attracted to him, but that was brilliant. That's brilliant. You have to be careful for the ones that don't want to meet you for a while because they do get you hooked. Repetitive hope. The repetition of having somebody respond to you when you come online, oh, what are they doing? Your dream keeps building. And the more your dream builds, the dream, Without their actual participation directly, you continue to fill in the blanks. Oh my gosh, look at what they're doing today. Oh, they're playing with their dog. Oh, look, they're with their grandma. Oh, they're having fun. They're in Paris. Okay, they're not poor. All right, they're not looking for a sugar daddy or a sugar mama. Okay. So, you're looking at all these things and you're building this whole scenario about what you can do together as you watch them online. Okay. Let's see, online dating, oversaturated by pay me per hour women and men that think they're the daddy. Okay, some people have luck with Facebook dating, but hasn't worked for me. Okay. And then Meow says, I think most women just want a man who pays for I think a little coffee date. Yep, that's fine. Jillian, Morgan Freeman, I actually had a guy Morgan Freeman's on the channel, everyone, just so you know. I actually had a guy with your name try to talk to me over Twitter, hee hee. Do you use your name to meet folks? LOL, just kidding. Susan, no wonder it's so hard to trust anyone, Jamie says. How does anyone even begin to trust new people in a world of scammers and con artists? Please advise. Okay, so I don't want to disillusion all of you. So maybe I will stop here with the what's up news and just tell you that, the better we get at this, the better we get at seeing the real red flags, not the imagined red flags. This is why in this time period, I think resilience is more important than anything. We don't want to lose hope in love. We might lose faith in the direction that human beings have been going in because there's no accountability. There isn't. Online dating and all of this internet, everything that connects us with each other, is also a great shield for the truth. If you can't meet and see a person for real, you don't really know who they are, and they get to be anybody they want to be. They get to be any height, any weight, any job, any income they want to, any lifestyle that they'd like to choose. And finding what's real is a little bit more difficult. But the interesting thing is, there are so many people looking for what's real, whether it's online information, it's great dating advice, or it's real human beings who actually want what they say that they are looking for. And so here now we are talking about discernment. We cannot discount the fact that if we are there in this world looking for what is good for us, that there are other people like us. Your hopes and dreams do not live in a vacuum. There are people who feel just as you do, want just what you want. We are just trying to find each other. No, I'm not a matchmaker, and I'm not going to go into that. And to be quite honest, most everyone I know who has hung that shingle just wants your 5 or 6 figure income, and they'll worry about if they can find you a date later. There are very, very, very few people that I think are legitimate in that business. And more states are really cracking down on what they're allowed to take from you. They cannot predict romance. Nobody can. I still think, Janice Spindell here in New York was the original matchmaker she's like a millionaire matchmaker, and Patty Stanger, it was her protege. I still trust Patty and her people because they have such a reputation to maintain, and I have sent people to her. And the guy that I sent to her, this really good looking and young and everything like that, was excited for a moment and then kind of pulled back. And when they asked me what was going on, is he going to go forward or not? And I felt a little guilty. And so I asked him, he said, yeah, I actually met somebody. And I thought, oh God, he just didn't want to pay for it. And then I saw that he met her because we had another coaching session and he wanted to know what to say to her. He wanted to know if we do couples coaching. And I said, I can't. So here's my thing about couples coaching. I will do couples coaching if I don't know either one of you. I will not do couples coaching if I already know one of you and I've worked with you. I'm going to be biased, or they're going to think I'm biased. I would prefer to start fresh where I see you only as a couple. And then if one wants to continue going, the other one wants to work with me, fine. But I don't want to do it the other way around. I've not had a good experience. And I also don't do that with friends. I don't. I'm not taking any money from any friends that want coaching with their relationship, and people paid me in the past, and I am so sorry that I did it. Because then they want to know as a friend what the other person said. Like if they pay for their partner or the guy that they like, and they pay for whatever, and they want to know, well, so what did he say? I'm like, I'm not allowed to tell you. Okay. So we need discernment and resilience. And we need to know the classic signs of dialing for dollars as opposed to and opportunity, and to have you sign up for their clickbait funnels or whatever that thing is, and their online multi-marketing, whatever, multi-level marketing, all that nonsense, okay? If somebody approaches you through a romantic portal, say to yourself, are they seeking romance? In the smallest, most insignificant way, are they looking to have sex with me? Okay? Or are they looking to have romance with me? Are they really looking to have romance? Then, from that point, you've eliminated the followers, because of somebody who just wants you for a follower doesn't want to just grab onto you, because then you're going to say, well, where's my picture in your Instagram profile, and why are you still chatting up this one? So that's not going to work. You would get rid of the followers, okay? Then you have to figure out, is this person trying to bilk me for my money? I remember I had a girlfriend who, she met a guy who funded her Broadway show. He was in finance, and, he had her invest some money with him. And this was around 2008 do you remember when that whole shakeout happened? And he got this lady and some of her friends to invest with him. And it sounded very ethical, like we're helping create housing for people that can't afford it. And I know there are no quick returns. I'm exceedingly conservative with my portfolio, and I've had people try to talk me out of it 1,000 times, and they ask me what percentage I get, and they laugh and tell me, oh my God, my guy gets 25% every year. And I'm like, yeah, and 2 years later, we figured out who that guy was, Bernie Madoff. So you got 25% of nothing now. But at any rate, this guy, she thought he had all this money. They were living in this, they invited my partner and I out to this huge lodge area, and we're out there. It looked like a country club estate in Connecticut. What we didn't know at the time is that he was using her money to fund this image to try to get more fund. She gave him everything. She gave him the price of her home when she got divorced. She gave him her savings. They eventually went to court, and this guy did time for fraud and getting money from all these people. So the next tier we need to look at is, are they romancing us for money? Now, you may notice when you're online that if you deny them something, they get very reactive, okay? And remember, the people who work online in this area, there are multiple players. And my girlfriend has figured out with the people that were trying to con her, she didn't give them any money, but she was unfortunately a money mule, moving money back and forth between accounts. Or they were really great portrayals of bank accounts that made her think that the guy trusted her. So therefore, if he trusts me this much, he's all in, so I can trust him, right? So that's one of the games. And she was moving money back and forth. But the day he needed, oh, babe, I just need money. My contractor didn't come through, and I'm all the way out on this oil rig outside of Istanbul. And I'm like, you never asked me about oil. This is like one of my areas of specialty, and you've never allowed me to talk about this. It doesn't work like that. They don't have some magic machine where they suddenly can't make it work and there's no internet. Believe me, oil rigs have internet. You have to, okay? So it's so crazy. But we believe what we want to believe. And there are people that, although they didn't get any money from her, she got some bank account numbers out of him and took it to the FBI. She did her due diligence. By the way, Elite Singles saw him online. She got off and she got a different name and she went on another dating site, and his photo came up, and they sent it to her proactively and said, watch out for this guy. We believe he is a scammer. And here's the funny thing. Even though she went to the police and she went and forwarded all this information to the FBI, when it came to that, she didn't want to get involved. she was afraid of this person and who he was involved with. Okay? So there are a lot of these things that go unreported. I met a guy who was 5'7", and he was really 5'4", right? I know that when I ask people that I'm set up with on a blind date, when I'm trying to find them in a restaurant, and I'll say, so what color hair do you have? If they don't answer that, that means they have no hair. That's fine. Okay, what do you want me? Your hopes and dreams do not live in a vacuum. You want me to put that on a bumper sticker? Okay, that's great. Okay, just so you know, I've got new information for you. In the next 2 weeks, I am starting a members tiers with different material for each one of you. And at the highest level, you're going to have your own videos and own interaction, things like that. But one of the things that we're going to do, I've told Lauren to get a merch division open. There's so many of these quotes that you guys write back to me and you really like them. And I've told Lauren, run with this, because you're all going to get, those of you who are members, are going to get discounts to everything, including $10 off the dating games guide. So this is kind of a side discussion, but if any of you have bought the dating games guide, the list price is $59. The bundle price discounted is $49. In the next 2 weeks, if you wanted to get a membership tier, even the least expensive membership tier, you sign up for a month, you bail, like I did it, you're still saving money because you get $10 off. So I will be releasing all that information in detail, but I'm trying to find more ways to serve you individually. This is a fabulous platform, but I oftentimes forget that there are other people going to be seeing this, and I start talking to you as though I'm just talking to you in a private discussion, forgetting this is going to go live. I kind of like having the private discussions where we can really talk to each other, so that's why I like having some of these products and services where I can go into a personal space with you and know that it's safe for everybody. Let me see what you have here. Met a girl online with fake legs. Fake legs. She misrepresented someone else's legs as her own. Somebody lies. I'm sorry. There was a model, a fitness girl, whose claim to fame was that she had 43-inch legs. And I think she ended up dating George Clooney for a while. And then some blonde gal, I can't remember, but I read about her in a fitness magazine. So maybe they took photos of her legs. Oh, my God. Morgan Freeman is in the house. Morgan, love your work. Very happy to see you're here. He says, most the sugar daddies are divorced men nearing 50s with boredom. That's a whole nother subject I'm trying to figure out. I don't know why you get such a kick out of helping somebody that oftentimes you're not even having sex with. I understand if you're getting sex, I do. You're paying for something, you're paying for a membership fee for this thing, but I don't understand just to pay somebody to pay them. If you want to do a good service, take care of abused animals or elder abuse or feed the poor or do something, but buying a young gal some boobs, I don't get it. And you're not even going to touch them. I don't get it. I don't get it. So I guess it's some kind of hero complex where you justify that you're doing something good. Maybe it's the power of thinking you can control somebody that you could never control in real life. I'm not sure. Let's see. Well, you're all talking to each other. Most guys I meet in person, Gnarly Cat says, are 20 pounds heavier in person than they looked in their pics. Mine is just depending upon the year. I'm either really lean or I've been working too hard and I get soft and then I get lean again. So my clothes, if they don't have this stretchy stuff, I'm doomed. I love stiff cotton, cannot wear it. Can't wear it because I'm the same body, just goes boop, 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 like that. Okay. Anybody have any questions? We have no questions today, but we did have Julian. Okay, I want to make sure. Do we have anything else here? Thank you for all your advice and your videos. You've managed to help me get over a lad who messed me around for years. Oh, I finally made peace with this situation. Oh, well, Joseph, this is fabulous. Thank you for this. This is really great. Thank you for this. I love the fact that you're also kind to each other here, and I have tried to create communities where people feel safe and help each other. My goal is to help you. We can't necessarily change the world, but we can be very much on point with how we are and our output. And the better our output, the more ethical, the clearer, the more diplomatic, the better our partnership and communication skills, the more we can see through nonsense, the better it gets for everybody. And that means we have a better opportunity to call in somebody who is of the same resonance. Will we be attracted to those who want what we have and don't want to work for it, or want to take what we have because they don't want to work for it? Of course. But we also have to be smart. But love is like jumping off a cliff at Cabo. You see the people do, you're like, oh my God, like a cliff diver. It is. Anyone who's been in love, you know that. You can assess the water, the temperature, do everything you want, but at some point you're going to dive and you're going to take a risk. That's the way it is. We just want to make sure that we have a calculated risk and that we understand exactly what the risks are, not that we accept that this is a risk and then we see a whole tier of subcategories underneath it that have unfolded like some kind of level in something. Okay. Oh, KC, thank you so much for 149. I really like that. And B and Gwyneth are in Wales. And Alexa told me the following. Alexa told me that I should say, halo. Alexa said that's Welsh for hello. Really hard. Halo. I hope I did it right. Halo. Okay. Oh, let's see. N. I think that says and partners. $4.99. Thank you so much for this. Cannot decide between two online dates. Don't want to hurt them. What to do? Okay. Are you currently dating both of them and you're trying to make a decision? Or have you not gone out with either one and you don't want to hurt each other? If it is the latter, nobody is required. You can't hurt anybody if you're just newly in it. If you have seen each one of these people 3 or 4 times now, and you feel that they're serious, and you think that one of them, has anybody asked you to make a selection yet? I know you don't want to hurt them, and that's quite sweet, but people have kind of fudged on this thing before. What happens is you don't know which one is going to come through for you. And if no one is currently asking you to make a decision, then it is simply your ethical imperative to do what you think is right. But it sounds to me that you are at a juncture where you do not have adequate information. Here's a Susan thing. I think our confusion comes when we feel a time element combined with having to make a decision. So for me, the two stressors are, I somehow feel I need to make a decision, but I've got very little time and there's not enough information. So the fact that you're asking this question means you do not know enough about either candidate. You need to keep seeing them, but dig a little deeper. Push it a little bit. Maybe you've been sleeping with them both for 2 or 3 months. I don't know. But whatever it is, if you want a relationship and you want to live in Italy and you'd like to, have 4 beagles and that's your goal, you got to check this now to make sure they want what you want and start kind of laying out your dreams and your hopes and your relationship goals. That will kind of filter out who wants to be there and who doesn't. But you don't know enough yet. That's why you're asking me. You don't have the information. So your job is to go get the information. Okay? Thank you so much for the super chat. Good evening. Hi, I see the flags here. Let's see. B and Gwyneth are being adorable in Wales. Okay, sounds like you want a prostitute, Nathan. Okay, I don't know what that is. Okay, and partners. Okay, thank you. These are real stressors for me. When you have to make a decision, you don't have enough information. you are kind of guessing and using intuition. It's very hard. And we have to give ourselves a break. It doesn't mean that we're procrastinating. It doesn't mean that we're confused or, whatever. We have every right to be unclear. Vital information is missing. All right? Any other questions that we have today? Okay, because I'd like to let Bea and Gwyneth go back to their vacation. So just so you know, I'm still doing consultations. If you want a consultation, please book it on susanwinter.net. The Dating Games Guide is currently for sale. It is fabulous. But if you are thinking that you might want to be a member of this channel, we're still mulling over the titles, but it's right now we've got fans, friends, and family. And there are 3 different tiers, and there are different perks for each tier, and the first tier's perks melt into the second, and the second tier's additional perks merge into the third. And so the biggest is the third tier, but the thing about this is YouTube asked me to do it, and I have to have it done before the 15th of August. So if you are thinking that you may want to be a member, and check that out, and again, you can unsubscribe at any time. If you think you want to be a member and you think you want the Dating Games Guide, I would wait 2 weeks. Wait 2 weeks and get your $10 off. Why not? And as far as the Dating Games Guide, we have a community page, and every time anyone makes a comment there, I'm alerted and I come back to it and I can participate. I've left some videos and I've left some audio content, but the more active you get there, the more active I will be there. The same is true. I will be giving you a video telling you what I'm laying out in this membership page, and it's also, I am going to add as I can go. I want to make sure that I don't oversell and underdeliver. Everything I do, I have no idea how many people are going to be joining. So if I tell you that I'm going to answer every single one of your questions in tier 2 in a video, that's fine if I have 25 people join. But what if I have 125 people join? I don't know. The first month, I don't know. So I'm going to carefully figure out what I can consistently provide. And this is just, YouTube asked me to do it, and I thought, okay, I haven't done it. I like the idea of closeness. The other thing I want to know is I will be doing polls with all of these groups to figure out, what do you want from me? You will be getting your own private videos and interactions. I'm thinking of having a private after the show. When this show is over, going straight into a very private AMA, Ask Me Anything, combination coaching questions, and just for the subscribers for that tier. And again, it depends, if we have 1,000 people, I'm going to be like, well, I can't answer every question. So this has to be somewhat flexible as we move forward. What else did I want to tell you? That's about it. What do you want to talk about next week? Please let me know. I have been going off of many of your suggestions. I will be happy to do that. Please, before you sign off today, give me topics that you want to discuss for next week. That's how I choose many of them. Those of you that write me for a video request, I do read them. When they come through, we get dozens every day. We pick out the ones that we think are the most pertinent. But if you have had a question, and I think it's really specific to you, but I'm like, oh my God, this person's in so much trouble, I answer back ASAP of my own volition to your email. Check your spam box. I write at the top, Susan Winter, answer. So you can't miss it, okay? I'm giving you the answer because I so many times will write you back and let you know that I'm not going to do a video. Here's what you need to do, okay? But I do create my Tuesday videos off of that video request. So we have this done, right? Understand dating and romance used to kind of be for what it was for. You took your risk was, would they hurt me and break my heart? Nowadays, do they just want me as a follower on Instagram? Is that what they want? Or do they want to sell me a product or service? This is better than a cold call for them. So they're going to warm me up and get me engaged and then try to utilize this portal, wherever it is, for romance to gain money, okay? So we watch out for those things. And thank you all for joining me today. Stay cool wherever you are in the world. And Gwyneth and B, so happy to see your photos of whales. It looks beautiful. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. Thank you for the Super Chat contributions. Have a lovely and wonderful day. And please write me as to what you would like to hear in the future. Okay? That's so great, Susan. You definitely go the extra mile. Thank you, Carrie. You're braver than me, Nat. I love the fact that you're all talking to each other. Should you be friends with your ex if you have kids, and how to go about it? Yeah, I should be friendly. Those are your kids are there. And it's more for them than it is for whether you like it or not. Okay, everyone, we will see you next week. Leave your comments as to what you'd like me to talk about. Thank you. Bye-bye now.